folks. Old man Grognard here, back again. Well, it's been an eventful week for the week after Christmas. It's between Christmas and New Year's, it's that last week of the year that's kind of a, you kind of don't know. The family's still around, you still got decorations up, you don't know what's going on or anything. And it's kind of a weird, I don't know, just kind of in limbo. After New Year's, okay, New Year starts, boom. And I don't know, it's just a weird time of year. But it's been interesting. Last Saturday, I had my first D&D game for about 2 months. I played in my friend Carlos's, this is the Monday night group. They're playing through Curse of Strahd in 5th edition. So I said, what the hell? I made up a barbarian, Grok. It's going to take me a couple of sessions, but I think I got a handle on the guy. He gave me a chart of harrowing things as far as background goes on this character. And it's funny, I rolled up a ghost of a long dead, some kind of spirit has been haunting my family for years, and now it's haunting me. It won't leave me alone. I can only see it, and it won't leave me alone. I'm going to have a lot of fun with that one. He might turn into a combination of Ash from The Evil Dead, Jack Burton with a touch of Hunter S. Thompson, or something. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you posted. I got one email from my buddy Jerry McDonald. Thanks, Jerry. And I want to give a shout out also to Jeffrey Tarnlin. Thank you very much. You sent me the some Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea modules, which I am going through now so for review. In fact, the first one I just finished, so it should be coming up pretty soon. Also want to say hey and thank you to Peter Regan for sending me the Black Hack bundle. He covered my costs on that. I appreciate it. I ordered it like 8 days ago, and it's like came yesterday. Wow. I was not, I've never ordered from overseas before, and this is coming out of the UK, so I didn't know. I figured, it's on a slow boat, 3 weeks, Man, that was fast. I wish Lulu was that fast. Anyway, got me a email. He was talking about Gamma World. He said, love the game. I do have that book as well as the scattered remains of the box set. Unfortunately, outside of the 80s, I never played it. Back in the early 80s, we played it all the time. Probably our second favorite game behind D&D and maybe tied with Star Frontiers. Good company. My most memorable character was a giant mutated upright walking platypus with a coonskin cap and a musket. I think I had the Mind Blast mutation. I love them. Domars, I think if you erase the center of the M, you get $. Okay, fair enough. Just Domars, it didn't fall trippingly off the tongue with me at the time. I forget what I'm using in my Mutant Future games, but it's something like that, or credits or something, just stuff. I mean, you just call it good. Do gold. I see where they do gold pieces. It works. And as far as Gamma World goes, my first character was this warrior who had a Viking helmet he made by gluing 2 steer horns onto a construction helmet. And he was named Ironhead McGonagall. He had a little brother who was this short, fat little guy with a derby and glasses called Vermin McGonagall. Now, Ironhead McGonagall he was a mutant. He was a mutant. You know, he did. I can't remember exactly what he did. He may have been a pure strength, but his brother was a mutant and more powerful than him. He had a dual brain, which means he had twice as many mutations. And it was just, you know, we would get attacked by something like Blash. And this is first edition Gamma World. And if you remember anything about Blash, they're basically giant irradiated hornets or bees or something that would shoot radiation out of their butt when they attacked you. And we got attacked one day by a couple of these. He mind blasted that thing back to the Stone Age. It was incredible. But, you know, I had the McGonagall family. I also remember I had one guy who named himself after his armor, which was a stop sign that he made. A couple of stop signs. He called himself Bolt Stop. Like I said, I always liked stop signs and other signs you make into armor. That's fun. But like I said, I was bored with Gamma World. That's about the only thing I remember ever from the early days of Gamma World when I was playing it. Like I said, I've since gone on to Mutant Future, which means I can adapt stuff. It's very easy to adapt stuff to Mutant Future. And even with 4th edition, where they're doing, you know, ascending armor class and stuff, it's really easy to convert. That's about all you need to do. I don't know what it is about Gamma World that just sort of attracts me. There are times, you know, or post-apocalyptic, I should say. There are times when I feel like I get in over my head, mainly because in post-apocalyptic, if you're going to do mutant humans, you got to really keep an eye on it. And there, you know, that's a factor right there. There are times when, you know, I spoke about this on one of my other shows, about things like mental and physical combat being separate. Like I said, I don't like a whole lot of subroutines in my role-playing games. That's one of the big reasons why I don't like psionics in AD&D. But the Gamma World 4th edition handles it well. Mutant Future can handle it well. If you've got to integrate it with the melee. This can't be Cyberpunk or Shadowrun, where everything stops while the hacker has a battle in cyberspace with one of the bad guys. You've got to integrate it into the melee. If somebody has something like a Mind Blast and people are fighting around him, he doesn't go, I use my Mind Blast, now we're in mental combat. Bull, you're hitting him. You're hitting him with your mind. Now, Gamma World, my edition of Gamma World that I use, this one right here, it does it, I think, better than Mutant Future. Because Mutant Future has, Mutant Future was based on a BX version of Gamma World, because they couldn't use, the whole story, they couldn't use because it didn't fall under the OGL. So what they did was they had to have some kind of like mental AC. And you had, like BX, you had the to hit chart for melee. It also had a mental combat to hit chart. Now, I can pretty much, that makes it a little easier to deal with, because you're only juggling 2 charts. And, but what Gamma World does, since they were going ascending armor class and using something like THAC, you had a mental THAC. So you didn't have a chart or anything. You just rolled over a number, and that's it. I kind of like that. That's the only fault I have with Mutant Future, but it's not going to stop me from running the game. It's a solid, solid game. Goblinoid puts out solid stuff. They also put out Rot World if you're into that kind of zombie thing. Just thought I'd give them a plug. What the hell? But yeah, you've got to, as far as I'm concerned, you've got to keep the subroutines down in a game. That's why something like Palladium drives me batty. Especially if you're playing something like Heroes Unlimited. I hear Mutant Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangers is easier to run because it doesn't have all that baggage if you're just running Turtles. Or any other mutated critter, even with After the Bomb, whether you're using it with Turtles or on its own with the second edition. But something like Heroes Unlimited, oh, I tear my hair out every time I look through that book. It's just every single different type of super has its own thing. And it was almost like they broke everything down into classes, which you really can't do in supers. You really can't. I've come to that conclusion. Silver Age Sentinels drove that home to me with their D20 version, but I'm going to get into that again. And it's just everything had like its own section and its own subroutine and things like that. And it just didn't feel like it meshed. I felt like Microsoft put this together. You know, like they couldn't put, you know, it felt like a group from Microsoft who didn't want to work on the latest version of Windows and put this together instead. I know I'm Kevin Sabedi isn't going to like to hear that, but that's the way it is, in my mind anyway. That and Palladium's penchant for acronyms. Now, I'm no stranger to acronyms in games. I used to play Champions, but they kind of made sense. PD, physical defense. ED, energy defense. That kind of thing. I understand that, but they threw an acronym for every single thing in the game. They couldn't call it strength or dex or something. It had to be like a three-word stat abbreviated. MAC, RAC, REAR, and I couldn't. My mind hurt with alphabet soup after a while. But that's neither here nor there. I don't really play Palladium. I collect some of the books, as long as it has nothing to do with Rifts or Robotech. I don't really. I mean, if I was collecting those books, my collection would be unwieldy, because it just turns out book after book after book after book after book. I prefer the stuff like, you know, Palladium Fantasy, Ninjas and Super Spies, Heroes Unlimited. I like collecting the stuff because they're great reads. I've got a few of the source books for Palladium Fantasy, and they all say they're like deal with this one subject, but they really don't. They're dealing with a part of a world, and they just cram stuff, you know, stuff that's really good in them. They cram like that you can use in any game. It's kind of like GURPS, you know, using the supplements in other games. But they give you a lot of stuff. I may do an Old Man Grognard review or something, or an oops about the Palladium Fantasy series, just to show you what it's all about. And not like, and of course, it's my theory of you can always pull something out of a book, even if you don't care for the system or the rule set or whatever. There's always, I mean, I've sold books in my day. I still sell books once in a while if I don't really care for them, or there are some books. I'm 59 now, so I've gotten beyond the why did I buy this thing mindset. I'm not going to buy everything under the sun, but I have made my mistakes. I'm a more conscientious buyer now. I really look at something. Do I really need this? Do I really want this? Yeah, it looks cool, but... And I listen, I read reviews and stuff like that, but I have made my fair mistakes, and I've sold stuff. Or if I have like a duplicate or something, I get a better thing of something, I'll buy something and give it away or something, or just sell it. But the stuff I do have, I may not play it all, but it's great to just crack open and just, crack open and see what you can find. I've even taken stuff out of 5th edition. 4th edition, I'm still afraid to grab. They had a core book out one time that was a digest size. It wasn't Encounters. It was regular. It was like here's the rules for $20, and I almost bought it, but then calmer heads prevailed, and I said, no. But I'm of the opinion of whatever books you keep, you're keeping them because you can get something out of them. I don't collect just because it's rare or something. I've always said my game library is a working library. Even if I'm not playing the game or I've never played the game, there's something in there that I want to read about that helps me with my other games. So I advocate getting as many game books as you can that you think you like, and then read it. And if it just doesn't jive with you, then get rid of it. But if there's something in there that you can use, I'd keep it. It's kind of you got to weigh. You got to weigh the usefulness versus shelf space. And my shelf space right now is at a premium. I've even got a bookshelf in the closet there that I put stuff on because I'm running out of room, running out of space. It gets unwieldy. It can get unwieldy, but that's the hobby we're in. I know you can. I know I don't need all this stuff, but I want this stuff. And I always thought, well, I have things like the Gazetteers and other things. I can read these when I get to my old age. I have something to read in my old age. And it's just handy to have a library you can grab. I am not wanting, and I'm not really I'm not trying to brag about this, but I'm just showing you, what it's like to have a collection. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, a lot of you folks that watch this and see my other episodes that I have, you have collections yourself. And I've got collections, there's probably collections bigger than mine are. But like I said, same thing about my DVD collection. It's lean and mean. I don't collect everything. I pare it down to what I'm going to use or what I think I'm going to use. And there are certain game systems like D&D. I collect a lot of their old stuff, but I'm still picky about it. I've already decided you're not going to see hardly anything past 2nd edition on my shelf. I do have a couple of Eberron books up there. I do have Elminster's Forgotten Realms because it's a good read. There's no stats, there's no crunch in it, but it's a good read. It gives you ideas. But like I said, I got the couple Eberron books. That's the one setting I always wish I could adapt to another edition, like 2nd. Or Castles and Crusades, or Swords and Wizardry, or Labyrinth Lord, or, it'll take a little doing because it's 3rd edition. But I figured something like Castles and Crusades is probably the easiest fit because they're both based off 3rd edition. And if I'm going to do 3rd edition, it's going to be C&C. You guys all know that. But I'm kind of babbling right now. But, and if you want to talk about collections, you want to talk Gamma World, you want to talk about anything at all, just drop me a line at oldmangrognard@gmail.com. Okay? Got it? So until next time, bye-bye.